What's going on, guys? Archangel here with my extended review for Anthem. Last week, my review for Anthem. If you haven't seen that, that'll be in the description box below, as well as attached to the end of this video. I mentioned that the video's getting too long, so I will talk about more of Anthem at a later date. And today's that date for me to talk more about Anthem. Because to me, a review, you just want to get the main things across. What are the bugs? What are the glitches? What are the issues? What are the big flaws? What are the big positives? Then after that, you want to talk about the other details, the smaller details, things that aren't as big of a deal. Some nitpicks here and there, and some of the overall aesthetics of the game, things like that. So that's what this video is for. It's about the other things in Anthem that didn't fit inside my review of Anthem. So to start off with some of the nitpicky things when it comes to Anthem, because to me, nitpicks, you shouldn't have those in your review, because nitpicking to me isn't huge flaws. It's just, this kind of bothers me, but it's not a big deal. So that's what a nitpick is. And some of the nitpicky things about Anthem is the grind. Now, most people will probably say the grind in any game is a big issue. But to me, if you're playing a game like Destiny, if you're playing a game like Anthem, you're playing a game like Warframe, playing a game that's an MMO, you're playing a game, like Elder Scrolls Online, you're playing these games where you're just accompanying a large amount of loot and you're trying to get to a certain level, it's going to get grindy. That's kind of like the draw to these kind of games, is you are accepting that it's going to take some moment to grind. Before Anthem came out, you knew going in, this game was going to be just like Warframe, just like Destiny. It's going to take you some time. You're going to have to do the same things over and over again to level up, to improve yourself, to get better. So when I see people talk about grinding being an issue in Anthem, it's like, you bought this game, which means you knew beforehand what kind of game Anthem was. You knew beforehand what you were getting into. So if you bought the game, you knew beforehand it's going to be a grindy game, then you go, oh, well, this game is grindy, and that's a flaw. It's like, but you knew beforehand it's going to be a grindy game. So you're pointing this thing out as a flaw. That's not actually a flaw. It's a core mechanic of the game. So to me, grinding itself is not a bad thing. I don't mind grinding at all in video games. It makes the games last longer than they actually do. But what comes an issue with grinding is when it takes too long to grind. And currently for my primary javelin, which is a storm, I'm 486 in terms of my power score. And I've been trying to get this one last piece of armor that I require to get to 500. 500 being the max power level in Anthem right now. So I've done, I can't think of the number off the top of my head, but I've done quite a few Grandmaster level 2 missions, both legendary contracts, strongholds, and just regular contracts. I've done a lot of these things, including I've also been helping some friends on normal difficulty, with their leveling process and things like that. And throughout this entire time, I have yet to get this one last piece, this one last item that will get me to the max power score. In general, that's not a terrible thing, but it's taking too long because the grind is getting too long. At this point, I should have already had it, but I don't mind, having got to this point, because when it comes to Anthem, which is something I'll say is way better than Destiny, is early on when it comes to Anthem, every mission you do gives you better gear than you already had. And Destiny is all RNG. You can do 3 missions in Destiny and you won't get anything better than what you're already wearing. Anthem, on the other hand, before you get to power, I don't know what the hard cap is for them until they start making it grindy, so I'll just say 480. So before you get to 480, every time you do a mission in Anthem, doesn't matter what kind of mission it is, you're getting gear better than what you already have. And when you're just now playing the game, you're just now starting to get into the flow of Anthem, you're leveling up super fast. Anthem, at the beginning of playing the game, you're not taking any time to level up at all. There is no grind. Every time you do a mission, you're leveling up. Every time you do a mission, you're getting better gear than what you're already wearing. And the first 2 days of the game being out, I was already in power score 300s. And that's crazy when you think about it, because in Destiny, with a new power score, when the game comes out, you're not going to get that max power score in 2 days. It's going to take you a while. You're not going to have legendary items on your character within 2 days. It's going to take you a while. So Anthem isn't as grindy as, say, Destiny when it comes to being an early adapter and leveling up. But when you start getting to that 480, that's when it becomes grindy. That's when it's taking you time to get those those last few masterworks that you need to get to the max power score. I'm down to I just need one masterwork. And in general, I'm not complaining about having to grind for that last one. I just wish it didn't take so much time in terms of the missions. Some of the missions in the game take longer than they need to, and it's not like a difficulty thing. And to me, I don't have anything against a game being hard, but to me, difficulty should be because the enemies do more damage, and I take more damage, meaning they hit harder, and I receive that hard damage in full. It shouldn't mean my gun sucks. It shouldn't mean my powers are less effective. If I'm going against red health enemies, they should be dying just the same in GM2 as they would in GM1, in my opinion. But if I'm facing an Ash Titan, that Ash Titan health bar should take a while to take down. It's a freaking Ash Titan on GM2. So it makes a lot more sense for that Ash Titan to take forever to take out. With that said, when I use my on an Ash Titan, it should look like I'm actually doing something to that Ash Titan. I had a mission, I don't know if I have a video for it, but it took us 40 minutes to kill 2 Ash Titans. And that's crazy. And we're getting our ult on it, but our ult's doing so little damage to the Ash Titan. It's like we're spending all this time on just 2 enemies. That's crazy. To spend all that time on 2 enemies. And that's kind of like where the bigger issues lie when it comes to doing a harder difficult setting, because it's going to take you forever to do things. It's going to be because they give the health bar for the enemies too much. So in terms of leaving that, I want to talk about the other individual javelins, because I mentioned before that one of the best things about Anthem is the javelins and how fun they are. And I didn't have any gameplay for the other javelins, but I did, get some of my javelins leveled up a little bit, not a lot, because I want to focus on my Give Storm to 500. And after that, I will move on to the other javelins, which before I continue my thought, BioWare, let's gonna say this. I know you try to make it harder to get to 500 because you don't want us to stop playing your game, but understand this. The quicker I get to 500 with my Storm, it means I'll go play Colossus. When I get that to 500, I'm going to go play the Ranger. Get that to 500, I'm going to go play the Interceptor. So for 4 javelins, I'm playing your game to 500. Just because I got to it fast does not dictate whether or not I will or won't play your game more or less. Whether I play your game more or less is based on whether or not the game is or isn't good. In your situation, the game Anthem is a good game. Anyways, the javelins. So I played the Colossus. I enjoyed it. The Colossus is fun. Before I mentioned my review that my friends, they kind of didn't like the Colossus. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of chunky characters, bulky characters, but it was fun. I was able to just sit there and be a complete tank. I was with my friends, I was helping her out doing missions, and I'm just sitting next to an Ash Titan with a shotgun, just shooting it. Now, I am playing it on normal when I playing with her, not GM, so I wasn't taking a lot of damage. I'm just sitting here not even giving a fuck, just shooting a Titan with a shotgun, and I gave no care. It was fun. To me, that's what I want to feel when I play a character like a Colossus. I want to feel like a huge, chunky badass who can tank damage. When I play Interceptor, it's a character based on speed and doing things like that. That was fun. I didn't expect Interceptor to be as fun as it was. The Interceptor, to me, was like the throwaway character. When it first came to Anthem being announced and all the characters that they were showing off when it comes to the javelins, I was like, Interceptor, it's going to be a throwaway. I don't care about that character. It's fun. Interceptor is fun to play as. Then you have the Ranger, and I'll have gameplay for all 3 of these other javelins that I didn't play as until now, so you'll be able to see how I'm playing with them and what they do. They're all fun. I mentioned in my review that one of the biggest things about Anthem is how fun the game itself is when it comes to, especially when it comes to the javelins. The javelins, to me, I use this thought process when it came to comparing Titanfall's combat and Anthem's combat on how good that combat is. So when it comes to Anthem, I'm going to use Titanfall again. Using javelins in Anthem is like playing Titans in Titanfall. And in the aspect that when you play a Titan in Titanfall, you're having fun. Like, it doesn't even matter which Titan you use, you're just having fun. They're all good Titans. You're enjoying yourself. Same thing in Anthem. All the javelins are fun. You're having fun. It doesn't matter which javelin you pick, you're going to have fun, and you can build them however you want in terms of, I'm going to bring out a shotgun and an SMG with my Colossus. I want to pull out nothing but machine pistols and SMGs with the Interceptor. And you can play them however you want. You can be an aggressive person with those characters. You can be a passive person with those characters. You can be someone who plays like me. When I play Storm, I do as little as I can with my gun. In other words, I'm saying I use my abilities with my storm all the time. I'm just constantly spamming my abilities. I prefer to not fire a single bullet with my storm. If I have to, I will. But I prefer to just sit there and just spam my abilities. And that's how I have fun with the storm. So you can do the same thing. And the game allows you to do that. So the javelins themselves are great. They're great to play as. They're fun. And it's one of the many things of Anthem that makes the game itself good. And when it comes to, like, I'll make another video about opinions and reviews pretty soon. I did it before, and I feel like it needs to be revisited and redone again. And so I look at the reviews for Anthem, and people go, "This is the lowest reviewed Bioware game of all time. This game isn't good. This game is trash. People thought this game was better than Destiny. It's not. It's trash." And it's like, did you even play the game? Like, a lot of people who I see on Facebook who are coming on Game Informers and GameSpot's posts, they're saying, "I didn't buy this game because the reviews are bad." And it's like, so you're letting someone else's opinion dictate to you whether or not the game is good. That doesn't make any sense. Because that's not your opinion, that's their opinion. Your experience with the game could be different from their experience with the game. And I understand this: if you had a bad experience with Anthem in terms of it was buggy, it was glitchy, things didn't work right, you're gonna hate that game right then and there. Doesn't matter what else the game does, doesn't matter what else the game offers you. Right then and there, you're gonna hate the game Anthem because it didn't work for you. It kept crashing. It bricked your console. It was laggy. You didn't get this. You right from there. You just stopped playing the game because it wasn't working right. So you didn't even get to level 30. You didn't get to level 500, power level 500. You didn't play all the javelins. You didn't do all the missions. You didn't beat the story. That's the other thing when it comes to some of the reviews for Anthem. They say the story is too short. And it's like, you're not playing Mass Effect. You're not playing Dragon Age. You're not playing Elder Scrolls Skyrim. You're playing a MMO light shooter. You know, you're playing something like Destiny, something like Warframe. Those games don't have long stories. You can beat Destiny's story in like 4 hours. And Destiny does have the advantage in terms of it has more content at this point in its lifetime. But when Destiny first came out, you didn't even get the first raids like a month after the game launched. You know, Anthem at least launched with 2 strongholds. And I don't know if you want to count those as raids or strikes or whatever, but at least launched with some post-story content to do right then and there. And when it comes to how much content a game launches with, that's our own fault when we sit down and beat a game in one sitting. They're not thinking they're going to beat this game in 24 hours. You're going to sit there from from midnight till noon and just play the game nonstop. They're not thinking that. They're thinking they have a life and they're going to do those other things. But anyways, I want to end the video here since it's getting pretty long and got some other things I want to talk about and do. So moral of the story is javelins are good. Grinding isn't bad. I do wish that there was a better reward system when it comes to doing Masterworks, because I feel like Masterworks should drop more often in GM2 especially. GM1, I think you should be guaranteed 1 Masterwork. GM2, you should be guaranteed 2 Masterworks. GM3, you should be guaranteed 3 Masterworks. Anything below that, you should just have a small percentage get Masterworks. That's to me how it should work. It should be, every level should have a reward for what you're doing, and that reward for GM should be Masterworks and a guarantee on how many Masterworks you can get. So if you're telling me I can get 2 guaranteed Masterworks in GM2, I'm going to play GM2 more than any other thing. If you tell me I get 3 doing GM3, I'm going to do GM3 more than anything. The same thing when it comes to 1. So those are just my ideas when it comes to Anthem right now and this post-review thought process. But anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.